Hi there! Thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is actually my very first post, so I hope it turns out fine. It's all very exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. So the topic of this video is actually sinking funds. I just want to say first that I am in no way an expert on this topic or in finances in general. This is just a way for me to track my progress, my attempt, and to hold myself accountable for the goal that I am going to set, which is to obtain financial awareness for this year and going forward. So I hope this video is both informative and entertaining at the same time. And let's get started. So this here is actually my sinking funds wallet. I love it so much. It was gifted to me by my boyfriend, so thank you so much if you're watching. I am finally putting it to good use. So this wonderful wallet actually comes with many colorful envelopes, which are great, and it also comes with labels. So I'm starting with 6 envelopes. First would be my envelope for Christmas. Next would be for groceries, which will probably be one of my most used. Then there's dine out, which is one category that I want to track. Next will be cash for traveling. I probably won't be traveling anytime soon, but just in case I do, it will be nice to already have a fund for it. Next will be personal care for future trips to the salon. And of course, last envelope would be for gas, which is very important. So going back to the Christmas envelope, inside each envelope is actually a tracker where you can write down every time you put in money or if you take out money. That way you can better track your progress. You can put a name, a goal amount, the date, and the balance. So each column is very well defined. So aside from a physical tracker, I actually also prefer an electronic version. I actually made one using the Excel spreadsheet. I just thought, it might be easier to see each category. In this case, I have 6 side by side, so I can see my progress and what I've contributed and what I've taken out and what my goal is for each category. So I titled this Cash Sinking Fund because I'm planning to have another type of sinking fund, which is an electronic sinking fund that I will be keeping in Capital One for more long-term goals or more for expenses that I'm expecting but maybe costing a lot more than, for example, gas or groceries or something like that. So yeah, but for now I'm going to focus on the cash sinking fund. So as you can see in this Excel spreadsheet, the title is defined and there's the date, and each category has its own section, and it also has my goal amount, my target date, and also my starting balance, if any. So to look closely at the Christmas category in this Excel spreadsheet, as you can see, I have a cell for goal amount, which I've set to 300, which I think is a pretty fair amount since I do like to give gifts, especially during the holiday, which is my favorite time of the year. And at the top is my target date, which I've set to November 1st. And why November 1st? I just want it to be before, Black Friday or even Cyber Monday. That is usually when I like to do majority of my shopping due to the deals, which I think there's a pretty good deals out there during that time. So I'm hoping to have 300 saved up before November 1st. And of course, my starting balance for the year is 0. And yeah. So as you can see, I've already inputted the date, which is January 18th for when I'm doing my sinking funds, and the amount that I put in, which is $20, the amount out, which is of course 0, and as you can see, it adjusted the balance. So there's a formula there, and it automatically adjusts depending on the amount that is typed into the spreadsheet. So each category are pretty uniformed. They also have the same formulas to them. They have the same setup, the same labels, so that it's easier to track and understand. So my next category is actually groceries. For this one, I don't actively contribute to it. Just due to my living situation, I don't have a need for it at the moment. But in the future, I would imagine that this is going to be one of my most used categories. And if that were so, I set an amount of $200 per month, which is for myself, and a target date of monthly, since it's groceries, we need it every month, so I don't really put an exact date to it. And next one will be dining out, which is my most, actually, this is probably the category that I want to track better, because I know I probably eat out too much, or Yelp too much, or Postmates too much, especially during quarantine, just ordering out. So I actually do want to set a budget for this, and I want to better track it, and this will help me with it, hopefully. So for dining out, for the target date, I just put monthly, because I imagine that this is something that I'm going to be contributing to recurring, so I didn't really put an exact date. And for the goal amount, though, which is very important, I put 100 for the month, so hopefully I can sustain that, so we'll see how it goes. And for the starting balance, I believe I have $20 in here randomly, so I'll just put 20 there. So now I'm just inputting the date and the amount I'm putting in, which is for this one I'm putting 50. Amount out is of course 0, and the balance will automatically adjust to 70. So I just like using the spreadsheet because it makes the progress easier to track. And at the bottom, I actually have a column specifically called progress, which states the amount that I have saved so far. And next to that is the remaining balance, which is the amount that I still need to reach the goal, which in this case will be $30. So my next category is actually travel cash, or cash for travel. So of course, I really don't think I'm gonna do any traveling anytime soon, just because of the situation. Hopefully it improves this year. I'm really hoping, because I really need to go somewhere. But for now, this category, I try to contribute to it every time I do recycling, because I do get money from that, even though it's not consistent. I get last weekend I got $25, so I'm just gonna be putting that in here. But for now, how much I have in here so far, I actually have $100 in here. So 100 plus 25, I'm gonna end up with 125 for this month in this category. I'm actually really hoping to be able to travel this year because I've been wanting to see Washington, if not Washington, Hawaii. That would be so awesome. But part of me is still scared to go fly and be in such an enclosed space when there's a pandemic going on. So we'll see how things progress um, within this year. Hopefully, it improves. But you know what? I just gotta say kudos to those who have the guts to travel. Um, that is so awesome. I just don't think I can personally do that at this time. So once again, I'm just going to update this spreadsheet. So I'm just gonna put the date, which is the date when I'm doing my balancing, which is 118. The amount that I recently got, which is, as I've mentioned, 25. Amount out, I didn't take anything out, so that sets to 0, and that automatically adjusts the balance on the last column to 125. I'm actually setting my target date to this one annually, just because I really don't know when I will get to travel. Yeah. So this next category is actually something that I think is most needed and one of the most important one, which is personal care. So what does this mean for me? This includes getting a nice haircut, nice color, of course, and getting your nails done, getting a facial, just even this can even include maybe like health related stuff. So, yeah. But for this specific one, my goal is actually get a nice haircut. So I set a target date to July 1 because that's my birth month and I want to have a nice presentable haircut by then. And my starting balance, I believe I have $20 in there. So I'm just gonna put 20 there. And my goal amount for this eventually by July 1 is 300. And of course, last but not least is the category for gas. So gas, um, lately, since I don't do much driving for work anymore, since I do work from home, majority of the time, except I do come into the office once a week, um, but it's not really that far, so it's fine. Um, so I've set actually my goal amount monthly, and it's $40 because my gas typically hovers around $20 to $30 each week. But since I don't really drive as much, I can probably last for 2 weeks without getting gas, which is great. I'm actually going to adjust my goal amount for gas, just because I'm in California and gas right now is actually a decent amount. So I'm actually gonna change this to $60 monthly. I think that's pretty reasonable. So yeah, so this is my sinking funds. So I'm hoping that I can continue to do this every every month is the goal. So I know that everyone's situation is different. This is just how I'm going to track mine and how I'm gonna hold myself accountable for my financial awareness journey. So stay tuned and hopefully, and if you guys have any tips, I'm very open to them. So feel free to comment. And yeah, see you next video.